Brian Barry, GAA editor at Brian G. Barry. Dublin's relegation was humbling, says Dessie Farrell. Brian Fenton. There's a chip on the shoulder. Dublin manager Dessie Farrell and midfielder Brian Fenton discuss the Sky Blues' victory over Wexford in the Leinster Championship, and reflect on the county's relegation in the National Football League. Dublin are up and running in the 2022 Leinster Championship, after a dominant victory over Wexford in the southeast. A year on from their struggle at Wexford Park, which sparked a run of poor form that resulted in them losing their All-Ireland title and getting relegated. From Division 1, there were signs on Saturday night the Sky Blues have turned another corner. Sponsored link. New anti-mosquito device is taking Bangkok by storm. SimpleDiscountFinder.com. Recommended by. Our league campaign and our form during the league was very, very poor. It was a pretty humbling experience for all involved, said Dessie Farrell. There was time for reflection over the intervening weeks, and we sat down and just assessed where we're at and what we want to achieve for the season. For us, it's about game by game and play by play now at this stage. I was pleased with the consistency and application of the performance across the 70 minutes. There's been transition within the group, but the core of the group is still quite talented and a special bunch of individuals. There's obviously a question around motivation. How long can lads keep going to the well, because the commitment level required to play inter-county, it doesn't matter whether it's Division 1 or a Division 4 team, it's huge and there's massive demands and massive expectation. While it's a privilege to represent your county, and there's no denying that, the commitment that goes with it is intense. I think there's a lot of sacrifice made along the way at an individual level, in terms of careers, families and whatnot. I think it's only natural and reasonable that players who have been at the top for so long, there may be a dip in motivation or a dip in form from time to time. So that was looked at, and I think tonight the players applied themselves really, really well, and that was pleasing. But again, we won't be getting carried away with ourselves. It's the first round of the Leinster Championship, and as I said, there's more tests to come. The new shape to the calendar, with a shorter break between league and championship, poses challenges. It's interesting, the cycle is very different from what it was previously, and I think it takes a little bit of getting used to for players and for coaches in backroom teams and for strength and conditioning coaches, Farrell said. They've planned and prepared in a certain way for a long period of time, so it is definitely a consideration, a big factor in how you move forward. Return of King Khan. The return of Con O'Callaghan bolstered Dublin. The Koala attacker featured for the first time in 2022, and showed what the Dubs were missing during the league up front with 1-5 from play. Farrell confirmed that O'Callaghan is vice-captain for 2022, behind James McCarthy, and his return was a major boost. There's always speculation when it comes to Dublin football. Con was always going to be coming back. He just missed out on the league campaign because of injury. It was a fairly substantial injury, so it was great to get 70 minutes into him, Farrell said. I think it's unfair to place a burden on any one individual, or one pair of shoulders. There's a collective responsibility for the destiny of this team. All players share in that, and I think that's important that that's acknowledged and that everyone knows that. And while there's some talented players in the squad for sure, there are many, many talented players in various other squads, and it's going to be a competitive Leinster Championship, and we're looking no further than 2 weeks' time. It's great to have the likes of Con back to be able to help us. Fenton. A chip on Dublin's shoulder. Brian Fenton put on an exhibition at midfield, kicking 5 points from play. After being named man of the match, the Raheny star said that it was a long few months following last year's defeat to Mayo. It's been a long few months since our loss to Mayo in the semi-final last year, and it's been a long few weeks since our loss to Monaghan up in Clones. We've done a lot of hard work behind the scenes, he told Sky Sports. It's great to be back up and running in championship football. We struggled a lot in the league with our shooting efficiency. Just getting that back up to scratch a little bit, getting some injured lads back on the pitch is great. I am sure everyone can agree, to see the likes of Con O'Callaghan back on the pitch, Paddy Small on the bench today, James McCarthy coming back in Hopefully our panel is getting stronger, and hopefully that will stand to us later in the summer and in the semi-final of Leinster. There's a bit of a chip on the shoulder. We're hungry for more success, despite all the years of success that we've had. I know our supporters are very, very hungry for success. We've a lot of new lads, a young crop and a very hungry crop as well. Hopefully we can do ourselves justice later in the summer and certain live next day in the Leinster semi-final. Sky Sports GAA coverage continues next Saturday, with the Munster SFC between Cork and Kerry at Páirc Uí Rinn live on Sky Sports Arena.